An extraordinary David and Goliath battle played out. It began with a rocket fired this morning in the New York Times by a vice president who called the culture at Goldman Sachs, one of the giants at the center of that bailout, his former employer, toxic and destructive. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
It is a global Goliath wielding close to $1 trillion and producing Treasury secretaries, governors, news anchors, even a prime minister. The Goldman Sachs commander recently proclaiming,
"There is no Goldman Sachs unless we have the support of our clients who are the public."
Today, though, Goliath met his David, a shaved-headed 30-something Rhodes Scholar finalist turned traitor named Greg Smith, who turned on his employer using the media instead of a slingshot, resigning in a blaze of glory. He wrote an op-ed in the New York Times describing a culture of morally bankrupt people where clients are routinely referred to as Muppets and sold products that are wrong for them. "It makes me ill," he wrote, "how callously people talk about ripping their clients off."
With so many clients, we had forgotten what was important.
It was Wall Street's Jerry Maguire moment, reminiscent of the movie where the sports agent writes a manifesto about an increasingly soulless business.
It was the me I'd always wanted to be.
3.5 million for sale.
But Greg Smith's crisis of conscience is, of course, infinitely more consequential. And it raises questions about how much, if at all, Wall Street has changed since it brought America to the brink of a Great Depression, a crisis for which no major financial executive has faced criminal charges. William Cohan wrote a book about Goldman called Money and Power.
Would it be wrong for the average American to look at this letter and think to themselves, nothing has changed?
It would not be wrong, no. The reason nothing has changed on Wall Street is because the incentives on Wall Street have not changed.
Today, the head of Goldman sent this memo to the firm's 30,000 employees, saying he was disappointed by the comments from one disgruntled employee.
As for Greg Smith, he's not going to be working on Wall Street anytime soon. As one observer said today, he might as well go into the witness protection program.
I'm trying to decide how we feel about him. He worked there for more than a decade, made a lot of money there.
He probably did, and we don't know whether he quit genuinely because of these moral concerns or if perhaps he was forced out and this is just his angry parting shot on the way out the door.
But it clearly stung. Got a reaction.
It did.
Thank you, Dan.